resident road safety expert from Mobility Engineering, back again for another Q&A. We love those questions, keep them coming in. Thank you very much for sending them in. And as I always say, with my trusty subscribe pillow that looks a little bit like this, or the button that looks a bit like that, hit that button down there and help us get to that 1,000 subscribers. We'd love you on board and we'll keep those videos coming. Okay, so today's question, on to today's question. Today's question is around postural and behavioural harnesses, in particular around postural harnesses. We've done a lot of videos on these before, but more and more questions keep coming up because it's a complex world out there with a lot of complex needs, and we love the fact that we can provide lots of different solutions for all of those needs. So the question that's come in is from an OT. They've done a trial for NDIS for one of these harnesses. Everything's fine, everything's okay for the trial. The client has met the criteria and they're ready to go. The only issue they've faced is this harness requires you to still use a seatbelt over the top of you. So this is not a restraint, this is a postural support harness. So you still need to use the restraint. This child that has been prescribed for the postural support harness is actually 6 years old, and she's only about this tall, so when the seatbelt comes onto the body, it actually hits her neck, right? So the question has come, the OT has basically asked, are we allowed to use one of these under the bum cushions to raise the child up, to then bring the seatbelt around, and still use this seatbelt around the shoulder and still use this harness? The answer is yes, but no. So I'll explain on that. So first and foremost, you are allowed to do that. So in terms of the combination of it, from a practicality point of view and from a functional point of view, does it work? Yes, you can. You can have somebody sitting on top of that like that, and you can have the seatbelt going, and as long as you are using everything correctly as per the instructions and it's all set up properly, there's no problem from a functional and a safety point of view. However, as of 2010, these items were made illegal to manufacture, and so you can't get them anymore. And these items don't meet the Australian standards anymore. So it's actually illegal to use a booster seat now on the market. So there's things that these things haven't been made for over 10 years. They don't have the Australian standard stickers on them anymore. So they're basically illegal to be used. So the only way you can really, I guess, use that as a combination is you need to get an exemption, you need to get a doctor's certificate, you need to go through quite a convoluted process to do that. But it's possible. So we need to make, as long as we make sure we get all our paperwork in check, we can use this booster, and you need to make sure you use a proper booster that's actually designed for child transport. So it might come from another country. Typically they're coming from the USA at the moment. You need to have a doctor's certificate, you have to have an exemption from the road rules through the doctor's certificate, and you've got to have an assessment to show that this product is going to bring the seatbelt up into the right area. We would highly recommend that you, if you are going through this process, because these products are not legal and not readily available in Australia, we would highly recommend that you contact Mobility Engineering for any verification or anything that you need around buying one of these, because you can easily get the wrong product, and there's a lot of products out there that are not compliant. So yeah, possible, but you need to just make sure you put in the right steps in place, otherwise it's actually an illegal solution. So that's that. However, the reason why I've got you in front of this car is I wanted to show you an alternative solution. So in this particular client's case, what they were asking for was for postural support for a 6-year-old child, and basically they've tried this harness and that's the product that they saw and they thought that worked, right? And then it didn't work because of the seatbelt, and they wanted to kind of make it work, if you'd like. So rather than going down that path, what we suggested they could do is look at a completely different way of seating. So what you can also do, if the car is compatible with that, is you can change the seat in the rear to be a special pediatric transport seat. So this seat here is the Auto Adapt GS seat. As you can see here, this seat has got postural support, it's got harness support, side postural support, neck support. You can actually add a lot more supports to this particular seat. It's a very customizable seat. You've got leg supports, and you can change all these supports in multiple different ways. So this particular product for a child can probably be much more versatile than this and well into the future. Because if your child grows, you can start removing these supports and the seat can expand and so on, and basically it grows with the child. In addition, it is a fully legal seat that sits in the car. There is nothing additional you have to put onto it. It's much more easier to use and also has the swivel function so you can bring you in and out of the car, so also making the loading of the children a lot easier as well. So the question was, is this legal and is this setup okay with a booster? It is legal as long as you follow all the correct paperwork. And if that is the right solution for the person, then definitely you need to explore that, get the right paperwork with the exemptions and doctor certificates and make sure you have the right booster seat. But as you can see, I'm explaining so many different little things you need to consider. So that can make it complicated and potentially convoluted. So if possible, we would recommend you look at an option like this, where it's a seat that's integrated into the vehicle that's already got all the supports built into it. Everything's already compliant. You don't need exemptions. You need a certificate for any kind of modification on your vehicle, but you don't need any hard things, hurdles to jump over for something like that. Whereas something like this, there is a few more hurdles to jump over. All right, that's basically it. So hopefully that helps with your question. Thank you very much for sending in your questions. Keep those questions coming in. We love them. And as I said, we'll put some links to the harness videos and things and the GS videos below. Thanks very much.